Hey everybody, welcome to Real Talk. I am your host, Paul Britton. I am here on an lightning-packed and action-packed episode of Real Talk. Man, I'll tell you, 4th of July weekend, forever and ever, as long as I can remember, mid-90s, has been like, oh, you're the movie going on 4th of July weekend. Okay, we're not going to try to, take that away from you. It's more than any other weekend for me. I associate it with going to the movies. It's just even more than Memorial Day, because on Memorial Day I would frequently travel. So, but July 4th, I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to the movies, and there's always good movies to see. So what did I do this weekend? I went and saw a crap ton of movies, 4 days in a row, 4 movies. I did have to work on Friday, but the second I clocked out, I was hopping in my dad's car and we were going to a movie. So you could probably guess which one I saw on Friday based on the fact that I said I hopped in my dad's car. But yeah, so I'm reviewing these in the order in which I saw them. That's how we're gonna do it today. Okay. So July 4th had one major big release. The July 4th falling on a Friday. So the release was actually July 3rd on a Wednesday, but I had to work. Yeah, it was Despicable Me 4. Look, I gotta say, the first Despicable Me 2010, fantastic movie. I will put it up against any second tier Disney or Pixar movie. It's not Moana, all right? It's not Jungle Book, okay? It's not Wall-E, it's not the first Inside Out, but is it the second Inside Out? Yeah, I put it up against the second Inside Out. Is it Sword in the Stone? Yeah, I put it up against Sword in the Stone. It's a really good movie. It is a genuinely good movie. 2010. Then we get the sequel, 2013. And that's okay. It's good. It's still good. Bravo for making a decent sequel. Yeah, and then then the third one happened. I didn't like the third one. I'm just gonna say it. I didn't like the third one. The Minions movie was not good. I didn't even bother going to see Minions Rise of Gru. Just wasn't even remotely interested in that. So when comes down or word comes down that Despicable Me 4 is coming, I'm like, all right. I have some friends coming into town, not coming into town, like, they're like 40 minutes away, an hour away. So is that coming into town? Anyway, coming to hang out on July 4th. And I let them know, I was like, look, I'm going to an early showing of Despicable Me. And they're like, oh, we'll go. All right. That makes me feel a little better. So I instantly went from me seeing Despicable Me 4 alone on 4th of July to a friend, his 2 daughters, and Linus agreed to come along with, because he's about the same age as his oldest daughter, friends. And I gotta say, I didn't feel bad that I took them to see Despicable Me 4. I like this movie. It was fun. It doesn't have the cachet, the quality, the emotional sort of connectivity, really, that the first one has. It doesn't have that. Gru as a bad guy from the first one, and is a character in the first one that really does some great development work. Like if they'd never done another Despicable Me, that movie is great. Character growth, super perfect. And we have the Minions and they're fun and they don't overstay their welcome. From 2 on, it's basically like, okay, well, how are we going to frame Gru as a good guy? And I don't know that they've ever really successfully done that. So in the second one, they established this anti-villain league, and he joins up with them, and so he's been trying to capture villains. Like, Gru is a known villain. in the world of Despicable Me, and by the fourth movie, like this movie opens up, he goes to his like boarding school reunion, and where all of his boarding school villain friends are show up for a reunion, and we meet Will Ferrell's character, who is the big bad guy, and we also meet all these other villains who are just totally cool with Gru being there, and don't for a second know that he's in with the anti-villain league now. Like, how is that remotely possible? Like, it's not like Gru is going undercover or anything. I have a problem with the general conceit of Gru as anti-villain league person. But this movie does feature a heist. Gru has to go into hiding once he comes out to his college, to his high school friends, and the Will Ferrell character is going after him, and it figures out where he lives and actually goes after him at his house. So the Anti-Villain League puts him into witness protection. The neighbors have a daughter who's in high school and wants Gru to help her with the heist. Blah, 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 blah. That's the movie. Okay. So that's it. And I like heist movies. I've established this before. And the heist is fun. They steal a honey badger. I mean, honey badgers don't care, man. Like, they just don't give a fuck. So yeah, look, am I putting this up against any Pixar movies? Like Dinosaur, Cars 2, even the first Cars? Yeah, for sure. I'd put it up against those. I'm not putting up against Despicable Me 1 or 2. It's light years ahead of 3. Not light years, but it's significantly better than 3. It was definitely better than the first Minions movie. So yeah, I liked it. Here on Real to Real Talk, we don't do stars, we do tacos. And if we feel like something needs a little extra love, we don't do a half a taco, we do guacamole, because nobody eats a half a fucking taco. Spoiler alert for my reviews today, we're not going to be using guac. Despicable Me 2 gets 3 tacos. 3 solid tacos, really good tacos. I absolutely enjoyed it. I would absolutely accept a free copy of the Blu-ray. I am not purchasing this one. I stopped purchasing after 2 because guess what? 3 stunk. And so that's where we are. That was the 4th of July. Went and saw Despicable Me 4. Then the next day with my dad, I went and saw Horizon American Saga Chapter 1. Now, this is Kevin Costner. Anybody who's ever listened to this show knows I don't just not like Kevin Costner. My feelings for Kevin Costner are actively negative. I do not like Kevin Costner in ways that I reserve only for John Cena. I can't stand him. He's not good. It's he has one note, and it's Kevin Costner, and sometimes the one note works. Untouchables, Field of Dreams, Hidden Figures, and sometimes the one note is just perplexingly terrible. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. The Waterworld. Why couldn't I think of that? Postman, Wyatt Earp. On and on and on. Trust me, I could really go on for a long time. JFK, I don't like him in JFK, and I don't like JFK. Don't at me. And so I obviously, Kevin Costner is funding the first 2 chapters of this movie himself. He filmed Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 simultaneously on locations, and the locations of this movie are beautiful. Bravo to Kevin Costner and his team for finding absolutely remarkably beautiful locations. But Kevin Costner's problem has never been background. He usually does a pretty good job of finding decent backgrounds. If Kevin Costner's sole job was a scenery photographer, a scenic photographer, I think I'd like Kevin Costner's work. But unfortunately, he shows up on screen and he talks and he tries to put together a story, and he thinks he's way more deep than he is. Like just the hubris of, and by the way, while he is while 2 are in the can, he's still trying to get funding to make chapters 3 and 4. The hubris of saying, I have 4 3-hour movies, stories for 4 3-hour movies. It's like a guy who has made his recent career off of television doesn't know that television exists. It's like, my guy, the fucking that, that's 2 6-episode seasons. You're done. Everybody's happy. The people who want to watch your crap are happy. And I digress a little bit. So what's happening here in Horizon and American Saga is that there is a town, and it hasn't been established yet. People are showing up into what we can only believe is either Utah or Arizona, based off of the fact the prevalence of red rocks. Guess it could be Nevada. And people are showing up to this area to establish a town, and we see 2 different attempts, and both attempts are thwarted by the local native tribes. And yeah, I know. And that's the first hour. And so we are introduced to characters in the first half hour. We are introduced to characters that we never see again. And then we are introduced to some characters in the second half hour that we do see again, but most of those characters die. They're, an hour in. By the way, that's episode 1 of your show. It's an hour-long show. That's episode 1. Congratulations, it's in the can. Now we're ready for episode 2. Episode 2 of the show, the second hour, is we are introduced to Kevin Costner's character, who is in either Montana or Wyoming. He's in Wyoming, but there's a little bit going on in Montana. The bad guys in episode 2 are based out of Montana, but they show up in Wyoming also. And Kevin Costner, gets into a little bit of trouble with the local, not authorities, but local bad guys, because he kills one of their brothers. And so he has to go on the lam, and he's on the lam in Wyoming, and he has with him a woman who he had taken a fancy to, and a kid that she's supposed to be babysitting. I felt like we were led to believe throughout that was her nephew, but then we find out, no, that's not her nephew. They're not related at all. Okay, fine. And then and that goes on for an hour, and until lo and behold, Kevin Costner, while in Wyoming, finds a pamphlet to go to Horizon, and so now we know where they're going. And then we are introduced to a wagon train leaving out of Kansas, and we see that they are going to Horizon. And it's just it's a wagon train movie so it goes slowly like a wagon train, and that's the third hour. And okay, I'm being a little flippant in my review. I didn't hate it. Okay. I was annoyed that I had to be in a movie theater for it, and that I had to go because it was in a movie theater. I would have been very happy to have ignored this forever, and I could have done that if he had just made a fucking show. If he just makes a television show, I'm like, look, I don't do television shows, I do movies. This is not a movie. This is not a good movie. This is a okay television show. Little plotting. The pacing is way, way, way off just for a movie. And for a television show, I think the pacing would also be not entirely coherent. Kevin Costner is not the right voice for all of the characters here. He's not. And that is obvious. I didn't hate it. I'm hating that I'm going to have to go see the second one, though. I also didn't care for it either. 2 tacos. Like, this is not getting guac. There was absolutely nothing in this movie that deserves guac. It should be very happy that I'm giving it 2 tacos. I don't know. I that's he's free to do whatever he wants. All right, the next movie I saw out of Bollywood was Kill on July 6th, Saturday morning. Went with some friends. Uh, okay, so Kill. You may not have heard of this one. That's okay. I'm here to tell you about it. Kill. Think John Wick. If John Wick, instead of being an assassin, was a commando guy. Okay, uh, and Bullet Train mixed for a movie that is John Wick and Bullet Train mixed. The first hour of this movie is so tediously slow. I mean, like the first 20 minutes is impossibly incomprehensibly slow. So what we find out is that the let me get the characters' names because I actually did like this one, so I don't want to give this the treatment that I just gave. So Fani is in the oh no, he was the bad guy. Amrit. Amrit is in the army. He's part of commando and special forces essentially. He and his friend Viresh are in the special forces. Amrit has a woman who he is pining after, Tulika, who is her father is very influential, though we don't really find out what he does for a long time. Is very influential and it has arranged a very advantageous marriage for his daughter. Amrit, with the help of Viresh, sneaks his way into the engagement party. She, nothing happens. It's like, wow, can we just get to something happening, please? But she does tell him, "Hey, look, I'm going to be on a train going up to Mumbai, or was it Delhi? Might have been Delhi. I'm sorry. I'm going to be on a train. That's what you need to know. I'm going to be on a train. It would be awesome if I'm going to be going to Delhi. It would be awesome if you met me in Delhi and we could figure this out." And because she says it's not who I'm engaged to, it's who I marry. So he's like, cool. And so rather than meet her in Delhi, he figures out what train she's going to be on, gets a ticket for the train, meets her on there. There's a guy named Fani who is in charge of a band of bandits, like literally they are bandits. And the like 40 or so of them, and they're bandits that happen to be on this train. Lo and behold, coincidence. And they're there to like basically just steal people's shit. That's it. Like they're not there to cause major problem. They're there to cause people shit. But if people give them shit, you're gonna get killed. Like they're not fucking around. And they kill a guard and they kill a kid, and they threaten to kill other people, and this is really important, as you'll find out. While they're killing a guard and killing passengers, Amrit starts confronting the bandits, and Viresh and Amrit start confronting the bandits, and Viresh, while fighting one of the bandits, kills one of them. And this is literally the worst thing that's ever happened in cinema history, apparently. Like the bandits can't believe that one of their own got killed. Like it's like, I mean, the way they react would be like, like Bing Bong just got killed, like showed up in the movie and just got killed. Their reaction every time one of their members gets hurt or killed is hilarious because it's like, this is how can you be you shall pay for this travesty and sin that you do upon me. My guys, you are killing people left and right. Stop. Like, you're not only are you killing people left and right, you're killing innocent people left and right. Stop. It's the most asinine reaction, but that's okay. Well, that's not what we're here for. We're here for the fighting. But the problem is that Viresh kills this guy, and Amrit can't believe it. It's like, Viresh, we could have contained this thing without killing. What did you do? And so Amrit spends the next 30 minutes just trying to fight these people without really hurting them. hurt maybe, but definitely not killing and no or maiming or anything like that. Like, please don't fall unconscious. Please just get hurt and stay down. That's what I want from you. Until now, here's the thing about this movie is that the first hour is like comedy gold. I mean, it's so funny. It's not supposed to be, but it really is so funny. And then at the hour point, something happens that triggers Umrate, and it becomes a revenge flick on a train. And he absolutely like, and then, but when that happens, when it clicks over to, okay, Umrate's ready to actually do something about these people that are killing people. Like they show the title card kill, and it's so fucking cool. I fucking love title cards 1 hour into the movie. I love it. It's fantastic. A plus plus plus. This is a 2 taco movie for the first hour, maybe even like taco plus quad, like just incomprehensible and tedious. And then the last hour happens, and it's glorious. Like, you literally need to know almost nothing of what happens in the first 20 minutes, and then very like, so like the first 20 minutes you just skip entirely. Okay, so watch this at home. It's not gonna be the easiest thing to find in theaters. Watch this at home. Just go to the 20-minute mark, and as long as they're on the train, you're good to go. Then kind of you can play this at like, if regular speed is 1, you can play this at 120, 120 speed, like a slow fast forward. Nobody's saying anything of any importance. It's fine. You'll be fine. And then like slow down, like you'll know when to slow down. And then it's like, oh shit. And then the title card hits, and it's like, oh shit. And it's the last hour is fantastic. It really is fantastic. It's interesting. They do the things that I have a hard time with is that like all of the knives and machetes and butcher knives and everything else are clearly made of wood. Like, not a single one of them, if you like spent an hour whacking on your hand, would even like cause the slightest of cuts. Like, they're the dullest things. They're made of wood. It's kind of funny, but that's okay, whatever. And some of the fight sequencing is like, oh, but it's still really good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It saves itself from the title card on. It earned the extra taco. We're giving Kill 3 tacos. The last one I saw on Sunday, July 7th, was MAXXXINE. This is the third in a trilogy. The trilogy first, X was released. And then a few months later, Pearl came out. Pearl was the prequel to X. And now we have MAXXXINE. Just to get you caught up, these are horror movies. And X featured the character from MAXXXINE, who and her friends are go to they rent out a farmhouse to make a porno movie. Based in like this is taking place in like 78, 79, something like that. And it turns out that the people who own the farmhouse live in another farmhouse on the property, and do not take kindly to the fact that these people are here making a porno, and start killing them. And then MAXXXINE is the only one that lives. And Pearl is the wife is the female of this group, of the pair of slightly less modern morally people. And so Pearl is a prequel to X, and it gives you the backstory behind Pearl and why she's kind of a little crazy, because Pearl is definitely a little crazy. And by the way, both Maxine and Pearl and Pearl in both movies is played by Mia Goth. So let's just get out of the way. Mia Goth is a fucking super duper duper star, and Mia Goth could be in just about every movie for the rest of time, and I would just be so happy. Like, just Mia Goth and Jessie Buckley, just put them in everything forever and ever and ever. I even just 5 minutes, and I will enjoy every single movie I see for at least 5 minutes. But yeah, Mia Goth is just fucking amazing. Pearl is wacky as fuck as a movie. It is just absolutely unhinged, and it's a fascinating movie. And X is an excellent A plus, not A plus plus, just an A plus. Maybe B plus. Just horror movie, just like kids in peril, kids being people in the late teens, early 20s, early 20s in peril movie. And MAXXXINE is a different base. So MAXXXINE, we're going to fast forward into the mid 80s. I think it's 85. And MAXXXINE now is living in Los Angeles and has done what she wanted to do originally, which is to become a star. And she is, as she has continued down the road that she started in X and didn't care how she became a star. She just wants to be a star. And so she became a porn star. But we are introduced to the current MAXXXINE as somebody who is now trying to cross over into mainstream movies. And this is but she's going to try to make a horror movie, and a sequel at that. And going on at the same time is the night slasher killings. And I'm going to reiterate, Mia Goth is in it, and she is so good. So everything that's happening in this movie, when one of the best scenes of any movie ever is, like, seriously, one of the best scenes I have seen in a very, very, very long time is Mia Goth auditioning for The Puritan 2. That's the movie she's making. She's making The Puritan 2. It's the first scene of the movie. It is absolutely captivating. And it's yes, I need this movie. Not The Puritan 2, but MAXXXINE. I need this movie, and I cannot wait to be sitting here for the next hour and 45 minutes or however long it is. And we follow MAXXXINE as look, she's a porn star in Los Angeles, so she works at strip clubs. She does peep shows. She's doing other things in order to make money and get herself out there. People recognize her, obviously men, and she's trying to balance this famous stature that she has with her attempts to cross over. She gets the part, so she's working with the director. The best scenes are every scene with MAXXXINE and the director. Those are the best scenes. And the fun thing about this movie, and yes, it's a horror movie and it's fun. People are dying, but it's fun. The fun thing about this movie is it has so many unapologetic, obvious influences. Like, it makes so many tips of the cap and nods to other Hollywood movies from the mid 80s and like from forever. Like, there's just so many references to other movies, and they're all super fun and interesting. Those aspects are fun. What's not fun nor interesting is the horror storyline. The MAXXXINE trying to become a star storyline, really fucking cool and fun and interesting. The horror storyline, laced with the Night Stalker and everybody, and it's so obvious that it's like that MAXXXINE does get embroiled into a serial killer, an obvious serial killer. Two of her friends have been killed. And it's so obvious it's not the Night Stalker, although like they try, like, oh, this we're attributing this, and it's like this isn't the Night Stalker. Like, this is clearly not the Night Stalker, and it's so obvious. And then the reveal of who it was is so doesn't work at all. I just from the first 10 minutes, I was like, this movie is gonna be a 5 taco or a 4+ guac, and it just like the second act is just slow, and then the third act from the reveal on is just. I like MAXXXINE. I didn't love it. It's getting 3 tacos. I'm sorry. If you've seen X and Pearl, you obviously have to see MAXXXINE. If you haven't seen X and Pearl, please go watch X and Pearl. They're fantastic movies. And then you watch MAXXXINE and it's worthwhile. Yeah, look, that's where we are. 3 tacos for MAXXXINE. Thanks so much for coming out. I know there's a lot. For reviewing 4 movies, one person, that's a lot to do. I get it. You don't want to do that again. You don't have to worry about it. We won't be doing 4 movies again for a while. But I appreciate that you swung by and hung out. Next week, we have got Longlegs. Nick Cage is coming out, and he plays a. Hey, speaking of serial killers, Nick Cage plays a serial killer in a movie called Longlegs, and I am all about that. I'm also going to check out a streamer movie or two. So, if you know the big streamer movie that came out this week, you know which one I'm going to be doing. So thank you so much for coming out. Go out, see some movies. If you haven't seen Inside Out 2 yet, definitely go see it. Despicable Me 2 is also worthwhile. Look, any movie's worthwhile. Just get out, go see it in theaters. All right. Hey, have a great week.